Got plumbing problems? Call Central Plumbing Company. Since 1974, Central Plumbing has been the premier full-service plumbing company in the Baton Rouge area. With more than 20 licensed, bonded plumbers on staff and a fleet 20 trucks strong, Central Plumbing can take care of your plumbing problem 24/7. Sewer and drain service, leak detection, trenchless pipe replacement, and now a commercial division. So why call anyone but the best to take care of your plumbing problems? Central Plumbing Company, your one-stop plumbing shop. 925-8552.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we use a combination of the latest in rehabilitation technology along with one-on-one manual therapy techniques.
We have 7 locations to serve you. 3 in Baton Rouge, Denham Springs, Prairieville, Gonzales, and Bruley.
The athlete relies on more than 400 bones and joints. And when they don't work together, you can trust one team that's equally committed to keeping you in the game. At the Bone and Joint Clinic of Baton Rouge, our dedicated sports medicine physicians work with athletes every day to make healing as painless and simple as possible. Because we know where you'd rather be.
At Gulf Coast Office Products, we're at pace with the future, offering leading technology and multifunctional office equipment. Whether it's copying, printing, scanning, or faxing, you'll receive the best in quality right here locally.
Gulf Coast has been an integral partner in providing the technology for our company's growth.
From full-color imaging equipment to document imaging software for storage and retrieval, we're leading the way. Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
The aquatic therapy is a nice alternative to where we can get them in the water, get them to unweight themselves.
We have 7 locations to serve you. 3 in Baton Rouge, Denham Springs, Prairieville, Gonzales, and Bruley.
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV Magazine. I love to talk NFL football back in the 70s because people say, Lee, you're too young to know about the 70s. I will name you every starter in the NFL since 1970 to now because that's when I got into football. At a young age, I enjoyed watching it because I had no choice. My dad would watch pro football, college football, and go to high school football games.
And just like I told you, I guess that shows how much older I am than you. Because I told you.
The 58 game you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the first football game I remember watching on television.
Johnny Unitas.
The great sudden death game between the Colts and the Giants, NFL championship in 1958. And that's the first game
I don't remember who won. Wasn't it Unitas and the Colts?
Yeah, the Colts won. 23-17, Alan Amici scored a touchdown in sudden death.
I took
Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium. I took a visit to Louisville, Kentucky, bro. Never been to Louisville. And the first thing I wanted to do was go look at history. I like seeing the history of the colleges, the monuments, the trophies. And I had a chance to go to Grambling and see all of Eddie Robinson stuff personally, go in the stadium and just be in awe of what happened for those years. And then see Johnny Unitas' statue and sit there and reflect about how good this guy was.
Yeah, it's once again, I hate to keep going back to that, but when you get to interview these people like I did, you grow up watching them and then you get to interview them, it's just really great. I think Johnny Unitas still to me was the greatest quarterback that ever lived because he was the offensive coordinator, basically.
He ran his
show. Exactly. I mean, he's the one who, he actually did this on the field. When they expected him to run, he passed. When they expected him to pass, he ran. There was no one telling him what to do.
Compared to Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw, to this day, Terry Bradshaw does not talk to Chuck Noll. They had a very strong non-understanding. And John Elway the same way with his coach.
I don't know. Maybe it's because, and once again, I hate to keep going back to this name, but Chuck Noll is a Paul Brown person who didn't let his quarterbacks call any plays. And that's where that came from. They didn't let his quarterbacks call the plays. And
I would take it Ariel Parsegan was the same way, if I was guessing.
Yeah,
Notre
probably.
Dame.
Yeah.
Newt Rockne was probably the same way back then. But Saints players, we each know kids that play currently. Whose dads were famous Saints football players. Not just football players. Matt Dombrowski from Virginia that played for the Saints, offensive line. His son Matt is a junior offensive lineman at Mandeville.
Yeah, Jim's kid.
Dalton,
and Jim is coaching him. Jim is working at Mandeville.
And you can tell that's his dad coaching him. Dalton Hilliard Jr.,
right?
Famous LSU running back,
Right.
senior's kid who calls him DJ at Brother Martin. What do you think
He's
of
at
DJ?
Brother Martin. I like him. He scored the winning touchdown in the game Saturday against Rummel, the district
Okay.
championship game, as it turned out. Little guy, just like his daddy, probably even smaller than his
Not
dad.
the legs.
Yeah, not the legs, but looks a lot like him. Looks a lot like him. Not as big as his father, if you know what I mean. Not as thick. Some people say that he may be too small to play at the next level of Division I, but I mean, I think he could end up playing someplace. I mean, even as a wide receiver, because he has pretty good hands. I asked Dalton. I said, "Well, does he listen to you?" And Big Dalton, that is, when you tell him things. He said, "No, he doesn't listen to me."
Not at all.
But I'm sure he has to listen to his dad, because his dad was a terrific football
Two
player.
famous linebackers to the Saints community. Pat Swilling, many sacks. His son is a teammate of Dalton Hilliard Jr. at Brother Martin.
Pat Swilling Jr.
Only a junior.
Played, he's only a junior. He played on the defensive end kind of until this year. They moved him out to corner, and he really looks great and really looks imposing out there. Personally, I have always told Pat and Robin, his wife, that he should play basketball. And I'm not saying that he can't play football, but I really think that he is going to be a big-time recruit in basketball.
That's his fit.
Yeah.
Because he's not a big, heavy guy.
He
he's
can
tall,
shoot,
lean.
he's athletic. I mean, really, I think he's really going to be a national recruit in basketball.
The final Saints player that's dad played for the Saints, and he's doing really well, leading the Destrehan team. Now, I'm predicting, I'll have to predict winners on the show, but
okay. All right.
Destrehan's Rufus Porter Jr. Rufus played for Seattle, played for the Saints.
Rufus Porter, of course, Capital guy, Baton Rouge guy, yep. Of course, went to Southern. And, Rufus Porter. I talked to him after the finals last year, Rufus Jr., and I just, said, where's your dad? I just wanted to talk to him a little bit. And he's a really impressive-looking player. And they also told me that Destrehan would be better this year. And I said,
and they lost 10 Division I's last year.
I said to myself, I didn't say anything, but fans were telling me,
Right.
you watch, next year we're going to be even better. And I went, I can't imagine that. They might be right.
They might be right, yeah. Lost 16 starters.
They may be right.
And they're the team, they're ranked 2 in the state behind West Monroe, but I watched West Monroe. I don't think West Monroe, athletically, can stay on the field with Destrehan.
I think Destrehan's the best team I've seen in 5A.
Who's your favorite? I mean, I'm not talking about picking winners or losers, but who do you like in New Orleans to surprise? Rummel's come on strong. Brother Martin had a good year. The North Shore's got many teams. McDonough 35's talented as always.
And playing better. They got
Shaw's
better and better.
played better. Surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I think Shaw could be. Of course, they made it to the finals the last 2 years in Quad A. I don't know if they're going to make it to the finals this year because they really are pretty young. They started off 0-4. They're now 5-4.
Right.
They won 5 in a row and they ended up winning their district title. And Scott does a really good job, Coach Payne's father. And, they're really a young team. And he's brought them along really nicely. And, I think, Shaw could do something in the playoffs.
Now, you went to Carver and Kennedy High School.
Yes, I did.
Carver, known for Marshall Falk.
Yes.
Arnold Miller, a few other players that played college ball.
Yeah.
What do you think of Marshall, all the running backs that came out of New Orleans? I know he played some DB at Carver. And
he played a lot of DB.
LSU recruited him as a DB. San Diego State recruited him as a running back. Where does he rank? I mean, he's from your old high school. But
Yeah. Marshall's a tremendous football player. He just is. I mean, he was always just a football player. It wasn't crazy that they recruited him as a defensive back. He would have been an All-American defensive back.
Had the hips for corner.
Yeah, he was playing on a team where, it wasn't a good team at all. They were 0-10. He had to play a lot of different positions. He had 11 interceptions his senior year, something like that. I mean, he would have been a terrific defensive back. He would have been an all-pro defensive back.
We're going to take a break, Ro. We'll come back. We're going to talk more about high school football, some of the other teams I'll throw at you, get your opinion of these teams. We're going to also have a Buzz of the Week. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that goes on. I'm going to talk about the high school playoffs in the Buzz and recap college. It was a tough Saturday night for LSU, and it was a tough Sunday for the Saints again. So we'll be back in just a moment. More Louisiana Football TV Magazine.